Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome back to another vlog, another serious vlog, another probably very long vlog.
Oh.
This time we're going to talk about what's called human capital or culture capital. It's basically the kind of rise in people leaving, creative people in this case, leaving the country in search of better prospects in other places. And we're going to talk about whether that's actually happening in Northern Ireland, and if it is happening, why it might be happening.
Yes. Yes, it is happening. From what I can see, anyway.
Oh, it absolutely is.
From what I can see, quite a lot of people have a mentality of we need to leave Belfast or whatever, even to go down south or something like that.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I think it sort of stems maybe from years ago when there wasn't as many opportunities in Northern Ireland as there is now.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people jumped ship, went over to England or something like that, or travel. It's the same as people nowadays, leaving jobs and moving to Australia and something like that. They're going over because they think there's more opportunities over there. And fair enough, that's not getting into jobs and stuff in Northern Ireland, but to stick to creative.
Yeah.
But it definitely is going on. There is quite a lot of people in the industry at the moment that are doing that do find there is a lot more work to be had, specifically over in England, like Liverpool, Manchester, London, stuff like that.
Yeah. Places.
Sorry?
No, I was going to say typically places that there's a perceived better prospects in the creative industry.
See, I've got this sort of mentality about me, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, because I probably am. But I have had this mentality that people go on about, like Liverpool and all, being like there's a lot more going on over there. Obviously there is, because it's a lot bigger than Belfast. So there's a lot more people, and obviously putting that in consideration, obviously there's going to be a lot more stuff going on. But the problem that arises in that is that you then become a much smaller individual. Over here, you can stand out a lot more because there's less people, there is less going on, you have more chance of standing out. But over there, it's a lot harder to sort of break through what's going on. And personally, I would think it's not really needed. You don't really need to move away to get opportunities. And it's the same as even like people working in live sound, stuff like that, and all of that kind of sort of industry going on. You really don't need to you don't need to move away for these things to become viable options for you. It's Ryanair 15-20 quid for a return flight there and back. And sure, if you're freelance, you can put that in your quotation. I've done stuff. I've gone away with bands over in England and stuff, and you just put that into your quotation. It's simple as that. You can live over here. You can stay over here. Yes, you maybe have to find opportunities across the water, because those opportunities maybe are on a bigger scale, bigger payouts and stuff like that. But there's no reason you have to move away and like live abroad for these things to become available to you.
No. You've made a pretty convincing argument for why you don't need to. Why might you want to? Now, disregard anything to do with whether you just don't like Northern Ireland or something like that. Why otherwise might you want to? Do you reckon there's enough support for people, specifically people who want to pursue creative endeavors? Not those of us who can like wire away at freelance jobs, like being in cover bands or cover musicians or doing live sound or fixing guitars and things like that. Providing like a more trade-like service that's easier to get work.
Are you digging at me, are you?
I'm digging it. I'm digging it, both of us.
Well, there's obviously, as I said there, over the water, there seems to be a lot. Projects seem to be in bigger scales, so therefore they need more people and they have a bigger payout. So moving over there will put you in that scene, in that circle of people, and therefore you'll maybe find people that'll, give you that kind of work. But then I do have to turn that round and say it's far more expensive to live over there. Things, housing costs more, food, drink costs more. Yeah, all your expenses are a lot higher. That is why the minimum wage is higher. So, it kind of goes both ways. I don't really think it's the only real benefit without it. But then I was going to say the real only thing over there is that you're with a lot more people, a lot more opportunities, but then you are a smaller pea in the pod. So
It's one of those things though that like people think they're gonna get even funding. They think it's gonna be easier to get it.
yeah, well over
Elsewhere.
here there is places over here that will give funding and help for artists and stuff like that. But a lot of them have real, to not step on anyone, but a lot of them have real like crooked ways of working, where you maybe go and want to say you're an artist, you want to release an album, but you don't have the money to afford it, so you go and apply for some funding, and some of those funding applications are really daunting as well, and some people maybe don't want to. It's just a lot of work to put in for maybe a small payout at the end of it. Then you turn around and go, yeah, you've been awarded 300 quid or something. And it is a lot of work, and it's very daunting, the kind of stuff they put you through. But then some of them are great. Some of the funding opportunities are really good over here. There's what's the big lottery fund or something like that, and then there's people that can help you with that, like help musicians, NI and all. But yeah, there is quite a lot more funding opportunities over there, I think.
Which can be attractive
It is very attractive, isn't it?
if
You wanna
you're
move?
someone who can't do.
Yeah, if you're after that whole thing, if you're looking more like funding opportunities and stuff, there's a lot more going on over there, which is great. But there is stuff over here still,
Oh,
and
yeah.
because, well, let's not say anything yet because of Brexit and stuff like that. But at the moment we can still avail of stuff like funding opportunities from over there, as well as European funding opportunities and stuff, which is great. But living over there would give you a lot more access to them. Yes.
Yep. So what you're saying is it's kind of like a grass is always greener situation almost. Do you reckon? Where it's always like, oh, I'd be way better if I was in Liverpool because I'd get so much more funding to be able to put on the play that I
Yeah,
want to
well,
put on over here.
it depends if that's what you want to do. If it is something like, say, for instance, theatre work, and you want to do more of that, there is a massive, massive market for that kind of work over there.
Yeah.
And their shows are on a lot bigger scale than ours. But there is a lot less chance that you, some random person from Northern Ireland, will get it. Because there's so much more people applying for it.
It's if you become the same size of fish you were here in a very talented fish
Yes, they're
who've been in that pond for oh
now it's the end of the bad jokes. But really, yeah, I don't think it's a necessity for people over here. If we're talking about artists or anything, work, anything really like that, with the internet. If someone messaged me the day and said, I have a job for you in London on Saturday, I would just go, yeah, that's fine. This is how much you need to pay me to get over there for Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's just the bottom line. If they want me over there, that is what they have to pay. Do the job on the Saturday and home in my own bed. It's very, these kind of jobs are very accessible. Like if you are good at what you do and you are wanted by people, they will happily pay for you to fly over. They'll happily give you the work, no matter where you live. It's the same as bands over here. You know, bands over here can happily tour around the UK and Europe and stuff like that because they're good at what they do and people want them. People are willing to buy tickets for their shows, etc. So, like, there's no reason they have to move away and live away from Northern Ireland. Apart from it being like really cool, like over in those big cities, and you know, being a lot more crack probably. But
apart from it being all round better,
apart from it being just class, mate.
Yeah.
That's my take on it anyway.
I've heard in Liverpool they've got cameras that last for 20 minutes. You don't necessarily need to leave unless this scene for what it is that you want to do. If it's a really neat of them in place.
Yeah.
Other than that, have funding. We've got a great scene for almost every.
Yeah, well, like if
Somewhere
you're
bigger.
an original band and expect to gig in Belfast and Derry and surrounding places like that for the rest of your life, fair enough, you're probably not going to go too far. But, you know, if you want to do that, you want to do that.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
but you can obviously, it is very easy to organize a UK tour or
yeah.
start off something like that and go out to Europe and stuff like that. It is very easy.
Well, that's the thing. You can do a UK tour and you don't have to move to London and live in a flat that's like 1,548 quid a week.
Oh
to
yeah,
live in and be on the breadline just to be a successful band or to have higher aspirations.
yeah. Like it's serious money. Like realistically, if you did do something like that, you'd have to get a part-time job,
Yeah.
and that would be you'd be spending a lot more money, less time on your music as well, or whatever you're planning on doing over there. It would just be, for me, I just don't think it would work for me, and I think quite a lot of people think it's something they have to do when it really isn't.
There's a sort of romanticism to it,
Yeah,
moving somewhere else
yeah,
as a nobody and finding your feet on the scene and getting your name out there, and then all of a sudden you're playing Wembley Stadium, and that sounds amazing. Like, I'm all on board for that. Sign me up.
To me.
But yeah, and now look where we are,
Yeah, exactly.
right here.
Literally just like decide to quit McDonald's one day, and next minute I was playing, you know, the Empire.
Right, I've got tired and sarcastic now. Is what's happened.
Well, that's my take on it anyway. I met a roadie the other day who lives in Clyland, which is like a small village about 30-40 miles from Belfast City, and he travels around the world doing world tours as a roadie, and comes back home to Clyland and sees his wife and kids. Do it, Graham.
Because you just mentioned roadie, wife, and kids,
Oh, right,
and that ain't the audience that I'm talking about here. This is all about people who get to the ages of 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 and go, I'm getting out of here, man. There's nothing going on.
Yeah.
And it's happening. They are going. And I want to know why. Is it because of what you? Is it because of what we're talking about?
I think it is. It's as you say, it's romanticizing it all in your head. There is more funding opportunities and bigger scenes and stuff like that, and maybe more opportunities. Well, of course, there's more opportunities. It's a bigger place.
Yeah.
But I think it's just that all that together just is really appealing to young artists and stuff. It makes them think this is what I have to do. It is, and fair enough, it'll work for most of them, but you do have to get over a big hurdle at the start. Like I know people that moved away. People aren't friends anymore. Everything happened to quite a lot of people. They're broke. They don't have time to do their music anymore. They got themselves in that amount of debt from moving abroad, and these things happen.
Yeah.
It's very easily done.
They happen no matter where in the world you are.
So, for me, I think that's the reason. I honestly think you don't have to do it, but if you are going to do it, plan it out. Make sure you're making the right choice. Ask your friends, talk to people, take on their advice. Don't just get stuck in your headspace and go. Just think about it and find out if it is the right decision for you.
Visit the place
Yeah,
as well
visit the place
for like a week, and
You don't move into a house without
looking at it first.
Yeah.
You don't buy a car and just go, "I'll be fine."
You don't just walk in. I like that car. I like the look of that advert on TV about that car. I'm gonna buy it.
You don't do that. You test drive first.
Yeah.
You look at the house. You view the house. You go to the city. Man, we're angry.
Yeah.
So much. You don't have to do it. Peace. I have no idea how to finish this. I'll cut this.
Don't cut it. I like it to end awkward.
Raw.
Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for laughing at Graham. Goodbye.
Laughing at me doing what?
I don't know how to end this piece.
Joke's on you. I edit these.